Okay, let's be real for a second. For a lot of us, seeing a string of numbers can bring back some of that old classroom anxiety, right? But what if we could just flip that script entirely? What if math wasn't some scary test, but a powerful toolkit for making sense of the world? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're dusting off the basics and turning that math fear into genuine math fluency. All right, let's jump right in with a classic. Take a look at this. 10 minus 4 times 2. Seems simple enough, doesn't it? But believe it or not, this little problem is where a lot of the confusion starts. Now, if you just go left to right, you do 10 minus 4, which is 6, and then 6 times 2, which gives you 12. But maybe you thought you should do the multiplication first. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 10 minus 8 is 2. So, which one is it? Who's right? This isn't a matter of opinion. Math has a universal language, a set of rules we all have to follow to get to the right answer. It's all about the order. So, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to start with what I call the 4 verbs of math. Then, we'll get into that universal rule, PEMDAS. After that, we'll look at numbers in disguise. You know, fractions, decimals, all that good stuff. And we'll wrap it all up with some seriously cool mental math magic that'll have you calculating like a genius. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, we have to start at the very beginning. I want you to think of the 4 basic operations, not just as buttons on a calculator, but as the action words, the verbs of mathematics. These are the fundamental actions that make everything else we do possible. You know, what I love about this is how simple it really is when you boil it down. Addition, you're just joining things together. Subtraction, you're finding the difference between two things. Multiplication is really just a shortcut, a super fast way to add over and over again. And division is the opposite of that. It's all about splitting things into equal shares. These 4 ideas, they're the absolute bedrock of everything that follows. Now, here is an absolutely crucial point. Order matters. Well, sometimes. See, with addition and multiplication, you can swap the numbers all you want. 3 plus 5 is the exact same as 5 plus 3. No problem. But try that with subtraction or division? No way. 10 minus 4 is completely different from 4 minus 10. Just remembering that simple distinction is going to save you a lot of headaches. All right, let's get to the main event. This is the single most important rule in all of everyday math. This is the universal language that makes sure everybody, everywhere, gets the same answer to that problem we started with. We call it the order of operations, and the easiest way to remember it is with the acronym PEMDAS. So here's how it breaks down. First up, you always handle anything inside parentheses. Next, you take care of any exponents. Then, and listen up because this is a big one, you do all the multiplication and division, but you do them as you see them from left to right. Finally, you do all the addition and subtraction, again, working from left to right. That left to right part is where people mess up, but it's the key. Let's put this thing to the test with a new problem. We've got 4 plus 6 in parentheses times 2 minus 6 divided by 3. Okay, PEMDAS says P for parentheses first. So 4 plus 6 is 10. Easy. Now our problem is 10 times 2 minus 6 divided by 3. Next up is multiplication and division, left to right. So we do 10 times 2, which is 20. Then we do 6 divided by 3, which is 2. And the last step, subtraction. 20 minus 2 gives us our one final correct answer, 18. See how that works? Okay, next up, let's talk about numbers that like to wear different outfits. And I'm serious. You know, fractions, decimals, and percentages, they can feel like they're from completely different planets, but a lot of the time, they're just different ways of saying the exact same thing. This slide just makes it so clear. Think about it. 1/4 of a pizza is the same thing as 0.25, like a quarter of a dollar. And that's the same thing as getting a 25% discount at a store. They're all the same value, just dressed up differently. Once you see that they're interchangeable, it's like having a mathematical superpower. And here are your secret translation keys. It's actually really simple. To go from a decimal to a percent, you just multiply by 100. To turn a fraction into a decimal, just divide the top number by the bottom one. And to go from a percentage back to a fraction, just remember that percent literally means per 100. So you just put that number over 100. That's it. These are your keys to the kingdom. All right, now for the really fun part. We've rebuilt our foundation, so it's time to add a little flair. These are some of my favorite mental math shortcuts. They look like total magic, but they're all based on really simple, beautiful patterns that exist inside of numbers. Okay, first up, multiplying any 2-digit number by 11. This is such a cool trick. You ready? You just add the two digits of the number together, and you stick that sum right in the middle of them. That's literally it. Let's see it in action. Say we want to do 45 times 11. We take the 4 and the 5 and we kind of pull them apart. Then we add them together. 4 plus 5 is 9. We pop that 9 right in the middle and boom, 495. You don't even need a calculator. It's just simple, elegant, and fast. Here's another one I absolutely love: squaring any number that ends in a 5. The rule for this is just so clean. You take the first digit, multiply it by the very next whole number, and then you just tack a 25 onto the end. Let's try it with 35 squared. So the first digit is 3. What's the next number up from 3? It's 4. So we multiply 3 times 4. That's 12. Then you literally just stick a 25 on the end. The answer is 1,225. It works every single time. How cool is that? Now, this next trick might feel a little weird at first because it's the exact opposite of how we were all taught in school. Instead of adding from right to left and carrying the 1, I want you to try adding from left to right. When you're doing math in your head, it is so much faster. Check this out. Let's do 46 plus 38. First, just add the tens. 40 plus 30 is 70. Got it? Now add the ones. 6 plus 8 is 14. And finally, just combine those two results. 70 plus 14 is 84. For so many people, this is way more intuitive than that old school method. All right, it's your turn to be the genius. Using that trick for squaring numbers that end in 5, what is 65 squared? I'll give you a second to think about it. Remember the rule. First digit times the next number up, and then just add 25 to the end. Did you get it? Let's see. The first digit is 6. The next number up from 6 is 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. You stick a 25 on the end, and you get 4,225. See? You totally got this. And that brings us to our final takeaway. Because this is where we shift from just learning how to do something to really, truly understanding why it all works. So here's the most important point of all. The rules, the order of operations, even these super cool shortcuts, they're not just about getting the right answer. They're about building your confidence, about seeing the beautiful, elegant logic that holds our world together. The real goal isn't just asking, what's the answer? It's being able to say, I understand why. You know, the great mathematician William Paul Thurston said it best. Math is not about numbers, equations, computations, or algorithms. It is about understanding. And that right there is what we've aimed for today, to help you move from fear to fluency by building a solid foundation of real understanding. Thanks so much for joining me.